Welcome to this session. I'm going to show you how to combine multiple PDFs into a single PDF to make an instruction manual. The first thing that you'll need to have is Adobe Acrobat Pro. I have the Pro 10 version. So I'm going to go ahead and open that. And as you can see, one of the options I have is combine files into PDF. And this is the option I'll use. So I need to go ahead and find where I have my files located that I want to combine. So I navigate to that location, and as you can see here, I have each one of the files numbered. I did that to make sure that when I put them in, they're in order, and also to make sure that none of the files are missing that I would need for this booklet. As you can see, I also have a front cover and a back cover. So when this is all combined, it will be a complete book. Another thing I did before I converted each individual file to a PDF is, since this is a book, I made sure that they're even number of pages, because each document in my case is essentially like a new chapter. And as book conventions go, new chapters always start on the right hand side, and this way I can make sure that it will always start on the right hand side because of the even number of pages. The other thing I did is I'll go ahead and open up this front cover. Because it is a booklet, as you can see, the first page has the cover and the second page is blank, and that's because I don't want printing on the back side of the cover. So I can go ahead and close that file. And that was just for demonstration purposes. So what I'm going to go ahead now is I'm going to go ahead and select this combine files into PDF. Open that. As you can see, then I get this screen. So the easy way to do is I just go ahead and select all the files I want to bring in. So since there's no other files in this folder that I have to worry about, I can go ahead, click on the first one, hit the shift key, and go down to the last, and there I have them all selected. Then I can just grab them and pull them over. As you can see now, they're all there, 1, 2, 3, and as I go down through 17. I now no longer need this folder where I have all the original individual PDFs, so I can go ahead and close that. When I do that, then I can go ahead and maximize this. So I have them all there, I've checked, and the next step to do is combine files. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and as you can see, as each one converts and is put in the PDF, it changed to a green check. Now I have all of my files here into one single document. As you can see, it's 90 pages long. This is a long manual. So I can go ahead now and just navigate through, and I can see that everything is there. When I look at this document, though, and I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so you can see. All of everything that's here is, I have a header, but I don't have a footer. I don't have page numbers. And I waited to do that because I wanted to wait till it was all put into one document. And that way I didn't have to worry and try to calculate what the page numbers would be when they were in individual documents. However, the header I wanted to have on because it's the same for all. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you now how to insert page numbers into this single manual. So the first thing I want to do is I go to the tools, and in the header footer, I'm going to add a header and footer. So I get this message because, as I showed you, I already had a header at the top. It says this file already contains a header or footer. Would you like to replace the existing header or footer with one you are adding? And so what would happen is there's that header at the top that I showed you, and I do want that. So I do not want to choose replace existing. I'm going to go ahead and click add new. So when I do that, now I get this page where it's called add header and footer, and I can start adding in. So I was fine with the header that was there and was in the top right, but I want to add page numbers. And you do have the option, which is a little bit more involved. You can add the page numbers, so the right hand pages, the numbers are on the right hand side, and those pages that are on the left hand side of the book, the page numbers will be on the left hand side. But an easy way that I simply do it is that it's always in the same location for the person who's using the manual, is I just put the page number actually in the center bottom. So I do the stars, and that's just simply a stylistic thing I like. So it's denoting, it's a visual cue to the reader that this is something different. So I put the 3 stars, and then I'm going to do page number and date format. And I have to think about my page number format. How do I want it? And I have the options here, 1 of, and it says N, but what it'll do is calculate. So it would be like 1 of 90. This would be 1/90, because remember in this case we have 90 pages in this. This case would actually have the word page 1 and so forth. But I just want mine simple, so I'm just going to go with that 1. And where do I want it to start numbering? I can start it at 1. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And then I click right here after the 3 asterisks or stars that I put in, and I do insert page number. And I know it's inserted because it has these carets or greater than, less than symbols on either side. So it's just telling me that a number is going to be there, but it will be actually calculated. So I go ahead then and continue with the 3 asterisks. And remember, that was just simply as a visual cue. Now the other thing I can do is I can format this further. So let's just say I want it to really stick out, so I'm going to choose Arial Bold. So I go ahead and do that. And just to be on the safe side, I always select the text, and then I can make it a different font also. I'm going to go ahead and make it 9. The default was 8. You know what? I think I also want it italics. So Arial Bold Italics, I'm going to choose that one. And as you might notice down here, I can see a view of it. So these are just preview screens. Also, as you can see, there's these blue dash lines. So it's saying my headers will be within this area of the document, and my footers will be in this area of the document. I can adjust that area by these margin inches, and I could change these. However, I have it set exactly where I like it, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it. You might also be thinking, oh wow, I don't want a page number on the cover. Who wants that on the front of their cover? Well, I'm going to show you how to fix that shortly. And that is in the page range options. But before I get to that, I just want to show you, I can keep going through and showing you where that number is going to hit on every single page. I could do that for all 90 pages to make sure if one of the pages was printed really low, to see if I needed to adjust this page numbering. But I don't, because I've done this before, so I went ahead and made sure. And a short way I could do it is I could just go ahead and click there and enter 1. So we're going to go to page range options. And we'll go ahead and open that. And this is saying when I start the page numbering, where do I want it to start? Well, I didn't show you too much detail on the inside of the booklet, but as you do know, there's the cover page, and then it has a blank page, so that when it's printed, it'll be blank on that back side of the cover page. The next page was the agenda, which, because this is for a workshop that we held, and it's kind of like the table of contents because it lists each topic. And I don't want the page numbers to start on that either. So if I add the cover page, the back page, the agenda, and the back page of the agenda, that's 4 pages right there. So I want it to start pages from, and I want to start on page 5. So I'm going to go to 5. And then it says 90 here. But I also have that back cover and a page before that, so that the print of the back cover is on the back side. So I'm going to decrease this by 2. Okay, so now I'm saying I want page numbers on pages 5 through 88. I'm going to go ahead and select OK. And now, as you can see on my preview page, the page 1 is fine. And I'm going to go ahead and go up. And there, as you can see, my numbering is done. So I'm going to go ahead in this case and hit apply to multiple. And it's asking me, and it just called it binder 1. And then I select OK and OK. Okay. And then I can navigate through. There's my agenda page. Blank. And there we go. So now the page numbering starts on here, on the very first page. And I'm going to just go through really quickly. I'll scan to the bottom. As you can see, here's the back cover, and there's no page number there. And when I go to the page before, there's none, and the page numbering ends where I needed it to end. So let's just say that's perfect, but then I remembered, oh yeah, there's something else I wanted to add to the footer. So I can go back in, and I could choose update, and that'll update the one I have. So I could change this if I wanted to, in case I had picked the range wrong. But I'm going to show you to go ahead and add. Now it's asking me if I want to replace again. In this case I don't, because I want my page numbers, and I also want my headers. So I'm going to just say add new, and then I can simply go here, and this is for NeedArc because it's for one of our workshops. So I can go ahead and add that one, and I want this one also to be bold, but I don't want it to be italics. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. As you can see, this wasn't an autofill, so you can add in other information you want here. You don't have to choose one of the autofill. But I need to select the page ranges again. In this case, I want it to start on that page 5 again. Actually, I want it on the agenda page, so I'm going to go back to. So I want to start on page 3 because remember the cover, page 1, the back page is page 2 and page 3. Okay, and then I want to decrease this by 2 also. I hit OK. Apply to multiple. OK. OK. And as you can see, now I have that. So we have now learned how to combine multiple individual PDFs into a single booklet and format it by adding page numbers as well as other headers and footers. And that concludes the lesson today.